All right. Well, let's bring on our guest.
But first,
yes, Sherry Sebastian is here from the Franklin County Fiscal Court, and you guys have a big event this weekend.
We do. We're excited to try to continue some normalcy across the community. So the Franklin County Fiscal Court, for the 6th year, will be having Easter at Lakeview. So everything's going to jump off at 1 o'clock. We're really excited.
Speaking of jumping in.
I'm so excited. The Easter Bunny was absolutely able to brave the floodwaters and make it today.
Yeah.
The Easter Bunny can be everywhere.
That's right.
So our activity will start at 1 o'clock, and so we're encouraging people to go to the Franklin County Fiscal Court Facebook page to pre-register.
Okay.
But you don't have to pre-register. You can just come on out. And the reason we ask people to register is so that we know how to equitably distribute the Easter eggs, because
that's the most
it's really important that everybody has an opportunity to get eggs. So again, we've got about 15,000 Easter eggs. We have a special area. A couple of years ago, I try to add something new every year. So a couple of years ago, we started a sensory-friendly area, and we've always had the Stewart Home School join us, and they hunted in a different area to give them as much time as they want to do that.
Right.
And the sensory-friendly area, we brought on Yes Arts, and they've been wonderful to have activities there so that every family in the community has something to participate with. Yeah. It's really exciting.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, and then I heard, correct me if I'm wrong, but Buffalo Trace usually has some kind of Easter activity, and that's just not going to happen. No. I mean, they are flooded.
Unfortunately.
But I think they already had eggs, ready to go. So
they did, and so I got a call yesterday that Buffalo Trace is donating Easter eggs to Franklin County, and we're going to get those today.
Okay.
So the plus is we will have a considerable amount of eggs for folks to hunt. So we shouldn't run out of anything.
Yeah.
Okay. So registration, if you could, please, but if not, just show up 1 o'clock. You guys, do you want to shout out your sponsor that helps make this possible?
I absolutely want to do that first thing, because Traditional Bank has been with the Franklin County Fiscal Court and the Sheriff's Office for 6 years now as our primary sponsor. We've also had an additional sponsor come on and provide sensory-friendly eggs. So they are silly putty filled. So the good thing is Express Credit Union has given us some eggs with silly putty in them for our sensory-friendly area, and that's just wonderful. Yeah. But we have so many groups and volunteers that are coming on board to make this happen. I mentioned Yes Arts. They're going to take care of our sensory-friendly area. Paul Sawyer Public Library, every year we've had this, has had an obstacle course, which keeps kids engaged. And when they're not hunting, they are busy with the obstacle course. The Franklin County Sheriff's Office, they have a mounted patrol unit. That is just almost the highlight of the event.
Well, I saw the picture that was the bunny. Does the Easter Bunny get on the horse?
The Easter Bunny has ridden the horse.
All right.
The Easter Bunny has ridden the horse. Our Franklin County Fire Department will be there with its ladder truck and a couple of other trucks, and they typically give away little fire helmets. That is always a huge, and then bobblehead pins.
Oh, nice!
You push the head down, and it's a helmet. It's really, really, really neat.
Well, I know you want to give a shout out to the makers of the sign.
So, like I said, every year we try to do something a little different. So this year, to help find your hunting area a little easier than Kiwanis and K-State, they've always been with us right by our side, helping with registration and helping hide eggs. Sometimes it's really hard to say, okay, you're going to go over here straight and then make a right to get to your hunting area. So I reached out to the Franklin County Career and Technical Center, talked to Squire J.W. Blackburn, who runs the carpentry program there, and said, I'm thinking about some signage. And he was like, wood's going to be a little tough because it'll be really heavy, and if it a lot of issues with that. He said, I'll talk to our IT department. So I gave him an idea. And they were wonderful. These kids, you just say, here's kind of what we're thinking about. You all take it and run with it. So they made signage that we're going to use for each hunting area. So there's one
for age groups.
For each age group.
Plus these.
So there is a birth to 2 age group. So the parents are a big help in that. Then there's a 3 to 4, a 5 to 6, a 7 to 9, and a 10 to 12, and then again a sensory area.
Yeah.
I love that because then you don't want 12-year-olds, running over 4-year-olds
Mowing
going for
them
eggs.
down.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And this year
Or the
we were
parents.
so fortunate to get some gold eggs.
Oh,
so they
nice.
will really stand out in this.
Yeah, love the gold
and
eggs.
it sort of looked like a rugby scrum if you're not
Yeah.
really careful
Right.
with all that.
Right. Well, Easter Bunny, this is your time to shine.
Yeah.
And I bet you're very excited. You're looking forward to seeing all the kids. Oh, grabbing that basket. I'm assuming you're going to be delivering a lot of candy and all kinds of stuff, and you're ready for hugs from the kids. Ooh, I bet you get a lot of pictures taken too.
Nice. Well, I'm so excited this is happening right now because it feels like the thing that we need in the community. Do you know what I mean? To get
We need a bright
Yeah,
light, bright spot.
exactly.
And that's one of the things
dreary.
we made the decision yesterday, and the judge and I talked about it, and he said, what do you want to do? And the thought is why not go ahead with this? Because so many people are hurting for a variety of reasons. Hopefully by Saturday, the water will have receded, not only in the city neighborhoods, but out in the county, to allow people to get out.
Right.
And what a wonderful thing to get out to do with your family.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we got to talk about if it does rain. What's the option?
So the skies are supposed to be sunny, and it's
Yes.
supposed to be
Okay.
about
We're staying
56 to
positive on that.
58 that
Okay.
day.
Yeah.
However, should an errant thunderstorm come through,
Yeah.
we're going to have it a week later on the 19th.
Okay.
So our event's slated for the 12th.
Let's just plan on the 12th.
Yeah,
That's
it's
we're
gonna
planning
happen.
on the 12th at
Yeah.
1 o'clock, and we know people will get there early. So the health department will be there providing things. I mean, we have so many organizations that reach out every year and say, we love being part of it. We want to continue to be part of it, and so we're fortunate in this county, as we've all seen this week, how fortunate we really are to have
Yeah.
the partnerships and collaborations
for
that
sure.
we do.
Absolutely. Well, on a personal note, glad to see you here and out of your neighborhood.
Right.
I know
First day I've gotten out.
she had been locked in.
Yeah.
I've been locked in, flooded in, all the way
Flooded
around.
in.
Yeah,
I know.
I have.
Well, let's get into some of that stuff. Let's tell the Easter Bunny goodbye, though. 'cause,
Bye. Thanks for
See you
coming.
Saturday.
See you
Things to do.
Saturday.
All right, hop on out of here. All right. Well, we're glad though to have you here. Like Kathy said, I'm glad that you made it out and that you're here. We've got some footage of the creek and some of the flooding that's happening out in the county. Do you want to talk about whether it's your experience or some of your constituents or folks, any kind of update or wherever you want to go with it?
Sure.
Please.
Well, I am so fortunate to have been elected to represent the first district. But that first district basically follows the Kentucky River. So not only my county constituents, but my city constituents, a large portion of them are right. I have the river corridor.
Yeah.
Blessed to have that, but with that sometimes comes this type of situation. So you can't imagine the volume of water and how strong the currents of water are and what it can carry off. Certainly everyone's seen a dock that has floated and hit the bridge. You all had an experience with that where it burst the water line.
Yeah. Right.
And your staff you can't say enough about people who we typically, when things work,
Yeah, they
you don't
just
even
work.
know that they're there.
And it's like,
Right.
that's happening.
It's, and that's the great part, and that's the beauty of it, because that is their job.
Yeah.
To not even be seen.
Right.
Yeah.
But it is so wonderful when they are being seen out there for the things they do day in, day out, in any type of weather.
Oh, yeah.
In any type of weather, to make our lives just run simple and smooth like they typically always do.
And when they don't, to try to give that as little inconvenience as you can possibly have. right?
Absolutely, and they are quick to that, Johnny on the spot. But you also have to thank groups like the state and the county road departments
Yeah.
for being out in the middle of the night, closing roads,
Yeah.
because as water comes up
Being
in the
away
night,
from their families, right? And,
they are away from their families, and it's you can go up on it quickly and you won't see it, and then unfortunately you'll be in the middle of it.
Right.
And as we know, I'm old enough to remember this. We had a former governor in eastern Kentucky who drove into it with his car and didn't see it and drowned. So I mean, it doesn't discriminate, and certainly here we've had the most unfortunate situation of all,
Yeah.
losing
Oh,
the
gosh.
life of a child who still
yeah.
hasn't seen his best day.
Yeah.
So that has cast a pallor over all of us right now.
Yeah.
And so we are looking to find a way to kind of elevate the spirit here in the community.
Sure, yeah.
But the power of water is incredible, what it can lift, carry, and take with it.
Yeah.
But we've had such a great response. We talked earlier, and you all were great in giving an opportunity and shining a really bright spotlight on what was happening in the community. They're up at 231 East Main, which is the former health department that Franklin County government.
We have a whole segment about it later.
And I'm going to not talk anymore about it.
No,
that's
it's great.
fine.
But it is so wonderful
Yeah.
to see how the city and the county are collaborating in this. You know, sometimes people ask us, well, you know, that's a city thing or that's a
Right.
county thing. It's an us thing.
No, I love. I mean, and I
We
loved
all
it.
live-
all
Yeah.
through this time. You've seen the mayor and the county judge just
Yeah,
being
they're
side
the
by
dynamic
side.
duo.
Right?
Yeah.
You know,
It's an us
Yeah.
thing. It's
Right.
a we.
Yeah.
This is, and you know, Kathy gave a shout out to Frankfurt Independent, but I'm going to tell you, their slogan, "We are Frankfurt." We are.
Yeah.
We are Frankfurt. We are Franklin County. So
Yep.
it's amazing.
Yep. And again, just seeing everybody come together has been great. I'm so glad that you've been able to get out of your
Yeah.
neighborhood.
We haven't had hot water. We haven't had our furnace, so we've been wrapped up and
Yeah.
cold. So this
Yeah.
morning I went to the gym, took a shower right before I came
There
here.
you go.
And I'm sure I look like it, but I'm
Wow.
I'm clean and I have clean clothes. You know, and I'm safe with my family. And
Yeah.
that is and my phone, like every other probably local official, mine while I'm on one that's ringing. Yesterday, FEMA drove down my street through the water to just check on people because they knew our neighborhood got a considerable amount of water.
Right.
And they were trying to make sure that people got out safely.
Yeah.
And that is a heart-wrenching thing to be stopped and asked.
Yeah.
Do you know about your neighbor at the end of the street?
Yeah.
Everything okay down
Right.
there?
Yeah.
Right.
That those questions are pretty hard
For sure.
to understand what can be the consequence of that.
Yeah.
As the water came up in the evening to reach its crest, so that is a frightening thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
And I kind of got embroiled in the situation with the Carrollton
Oh.
mayor.
Yeah.
I had been in contact with some folks in the governor's EOC, and been told one thing, and so I had shared that with my constituents.
Yeah.
Because when they had heard that,
Yeah.
and so then I'm getting calls from the WKYT reporter,
Right.
and I'm
like,
kind of trying to clear the air there, and it's unfortunate
that caused
that-
a little extra panic.
that abject panic.
Yeah.
All my phones were ringing. People
Yeah.
were calling my husband. I
Right.
mean,
Right.
Yeah.
that was a just severe panic.
Yeah.
And so it demonstrates how the skill of listening and the skill of good, straightforward communication
Absolutely.
is key.
Yeah.
And it's not just in a situation like this, but it is all the time.
All the time,
So please
yeah.
be an active listener.
Right. Yeah.
Please communicate well.
And then even if you do make a mistake, to fix it as quickly, right? As soon, you know what I mean?
Yes,
Because
yes,
we all
sir.
do.
Yeah.
And I thought the governor said it really well about that
I do.
if you made a mistake or however that happened, that at least it was all in the for trying to keep people safe.
Yes.
It wasn't
It wasn't malicious in any way.
Right.
His sole mission is to take care of people.
Right.
And we take that responsibility as elected official extremely serious. I mean, I set things behind because I was answering phone calls. Some of my stuff didn't get moved because I'm trying to help other people. So that's what you do. You put yourself, you're behind everybody else. But today, I'm going to be in front of it because I'm hosing, mopping, cleaning, and starting all that as soon as I get out of here
Well, go
because
get
I
your
can go
tetanus
get
shot.
stuff. And I'm straightforward on the tetanus shot.
All right, that's great. Well, we look forward to the Easter Bunny on Sunday. I think it's hopefully be a great
Saturday.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Saturday.
I know I'm giving out bad information here.
Don't give up.
Out Saturday at Lakeview Park. Hopefully, it's a great event, and we appreciate you coming and visiting and sharing. And I'm sure we'll talk to you again soon.
All right. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah.
We love your partnership.
Well, we love doing it.
Yeah.
That's why
Thank
we're
you.
here.
Absolutely.